Welcome to the Air We Weeb. I'm Tim.
I'm Shawna.
Matt.
Okay. Matt, you there?
Yeah, I guess. I forgot we were doing the show for a second.
Yes,
I
this
was
is
like,
a thing
why are
we
we
do.
all saying our names?
And I'm the true king of Canadia, as.
Yeah, so grab your beards and goats, because we're going to talk about Vinland Saga.
It should have been the king of Vinland as, not the king of Canadia.
Canadia is where Vinland is.
I know, but
please.
you should have called it its proper Vinland Saga name.
No, Vinland is only
yes.
Newfoundland.
Oh.
So yeah, we're talking about Vinland Saga this week. We're just gonna skip the spoilers for now, give a brief opinion of what we thought of the show, and then later we'll get into all the juicy details. If you're sensitive to any spoilers, I would just skip this podcast, watch the show, and then come back, because there's a lot of good story stuff you're gonna want to watch. I know some of our listeners just kind of like to listen for the chaos of our episodes, but please watch the show.
What chaos ever happens here?
Yeah,
Or
not
Melanie.
like the last episode or anything. So what did everybody think of the show overall, without any spoilers?
I liked it. I've got lots of thoughts to say, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a pretty solid.
Don't rate it yet. No rating it until the
No, I'm
end.
not gonna rate it. I'm just saying it was good. It wasn't great. It was just good.
It hurts.
Yeah, I know. I know that's surprising.
I am so offended right now.
I have more thoughts.
Wow, maybe Weeb and I will agree.
I'm
I think we
surprised,
might.
Weeb. I thought you'd be crazy about it.
I was in the first bit.
Well,
Yeah.
the first half is excellent, and then things kind of not as excellent occur.
Yeah, it like, you think the show's gonna be one thing, and then it completely switches up probably about midway through.
I didn't mind the direction it took. I minded the execution of the direction, which is all spoilers, so I will save it.
As?
I like this show.
Why?
Do you like it more than Boogie Pop?
No, it's
Oh.
Yes,
on
definitely.
the same level, but as far as rewatching went, I think I enjoyed it less than I enjoyed rewatching Boogie Pop, but I think it's because I watched this so recently.
Yeah.
To time
That's
difference
fair.
between Boogie Pop.
Yeah, I thought the writing was very good, almost at all points. There are some exceptions, which we'll get into. My favorite part, which we'll also get into, is the characters. I thought they were really cool, and the voice acting was very complimentary to that. And I just enjoy the fact that it's basically just like one whole prologue for like the real stuff that's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, can I say one more spoiler thing?
sure.
I hate Amazon Prime Video, and it's only on Amazon Prime Video.
That's fair.
What do you
It's
hate
so,
about
like,
it?
The app is somewhat fine, but the internet, on the laptop, your cursor never goes away.
Ugh.
You just got to put it up in the corner, and then you can still kind of see it. And it always forgets your spot unless you completely finish the episode. So if you
that's annoying.
if you watch all the way up to the outro, but you don't finish the outro, it doesn't count it as completed. And then when you come back to it later, it starts you at the beginning of that episode.
I watched
It's
it
super annoying.
I watched it on the Apple TV, and there are none of those issues, so that is weird.
I didn't know it was on Apple TV.
I have a confession. I've watched it all on my phone, on the app.
The one thing I don't like about Amazon Prime TV is they constantly try and push their show as an ad before.
Yeah, there's always the ads.
Oh, yeah, but you can skip those.
Yeah.
But at
at least
least
you get
it's
it.
super
Oh.
fast. They're usually really quick ads instead of like 5 of them. There's one little one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would just want it to be on Crunchyroll or Netflix, not Amazon Prime.
Well, I am sorry to say this, but it's probably going to stay on Amazon for a while.
Forever.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that the show has to cover. So it'll probably be a couple years.
Yeah.
Could switch distributors at some point. You never know.
Maybe.
It's happened before.
Or maybe
So-
Amazon will just get better.
Hopefully,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
definitely.
doubt it.
Yeah.
Would everybody recommend the show?
I would.
Like
yeah.
Vikings, violence, blood, and angsty teens?
I would recommend it, but as always, with context to somebody.
Yeah.
There are a few shows that I just recommend to everyone because it's it's good, but that doesn't mean that I would recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, I would recommend it, But it wouldn't be unless they've seen like a million other shows, like Haikyuu. Like there's a show called Haikyuu. I don't know if you know about it. That's definitely what I'd
I think
recommend
we
first.
all know at this point.
We all know.
I would definitely recommend it. It's like one of my favorite shows now, so big 2 thumbs up from me.
Let's get into spoilers. I have so much to say.
Yes.
Spoilies.
I guess we're gonna kind of skip the Weebopsis then.
I mean, I'll give you one if you want.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Okay.
hear
I
it.
kind of forgot this was a thing.
I can also give one too.
Small baby sad, small baby kill things.
In
Perfect.
Viking land.
Yes.
Viking Land.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So basically, there's
Oh,
this
actually
kid,
in England.
and his dad was a warrior, and well, this is all spoilers, so stop listening now. His dad was a warrior, and then his dad gets killed, and he's like, I have to avenge my father, and so he basically joins the group of the guy that killed his father just to be able to kill him, and he keeps challenging
Honorable
him.
duel.
Keeps challenging him to duels and
Super
keeps getting
dumb.
beaten like a chump.
He is a child.
He is, but come on now.
He's like, what, 16?
He's 17.
17? Yeah, he's
Oh, I thought he was
Yeah.
15.
Well,
a
he was 6.
teenager.
old enough.
He was
He's
6,
old
and then it
enough.
was like 11 years later, so I'm pretty sure he was 17.
He should be able to beat someone up at that age. That's like not like you're fighting a child.
He just seemed to get worse. Like with Ashlad, he could not hang.
Well, they did explain that.
Yeah, they did. And
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like, he loses it. He loses control. He gets too angry. And then also, Ashlad's a great warrior, and he knows his habits. So it's like, you can't beat him unless you mature to where you don't let your emotions control you.
Yeah, and he constantly provokes him every time.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah, I love that first fight with him
What's
and
your dad's
Askeladd.
name again?
Mm-hmm.
For me, this show is broken into 2 parts. The first part is when Thorfinn, the kid, is the main character. The second part is when Thorfinn has no development, becomes a terrible protagonist, and Ashlad becomes the main character of the show, and then dies.
So
And you're
good.
like, well, I don't care about Thorfinn at all, because he's like a piece of paper in terms of having any dimension at all. So it's just like, that's where my problems lie with this show, is that they could have gotten into Thorfinn so much more. They could have gotten into the dynamics of, oh, I kind of weirdly care about Ashlad now. How am I going to kill him? They could have done anything, but they just keep him a raging rage monster the entire time, use him less and less and less, and make Ashlad more and more and more the main character. And then they kill Ashlad. So it's like, I don't know.
I love that the way he dies though.
Oh yeah, it's a
So
good
good.
death.
That's a
So
great
good
death.
for Torvin.
Yeah,
I think-
it's so sad.
Yes, I think I agree that it's one of my few worst points of the show is that I would have liked to see more of the character, like the inner thought process of Thorfinn, what he's going through.
That's the thing.
kind of
I
in
don't
that
think he
second
has
core.
any.
Well, you kind of get a little bit at the end, like the very end, when he
Yeah.
kind of is questioned by Leaf and he gets thrown in jail and all that.
He basically hits a stalemate point until he.
Yeah, and it all culminates in the end there when he releases that dagger, like the very end.
Yeah, I just feel like
what a
there
poetic scene.
that has no point though. We have
I think
we have no idea what Thorfinn is thinking. We
Well,
we
I think
only
it's
see
like
that
a
he's
metaphor
like
for him
he's
letting
in shock.
go
He
of the.
can't believe that he lost this. But think of how much more poignant that moment would be if he had been struggling, like if we understood his struggle up until that point with, oh, I kind of care about Ashlad, but I still really want to kill him, and all this different
Kinda-
stuff they could have dealt with, but they didn't touch on it at all, and all we get is his facial expression. Like, that's weak.
You just sort of see it a bit, like when he goes to save him and stuff multiple times.
You sort of see it, but like for a main character to never get like a single line about what's going on with him, like, it's bad writing. It's not good.
I
I
thought
just don't like how.
I just thought it was
sorry.
very like subtle, like the way they kind of
Yeah.
built their relationship and that bond, because it's never like specifically mentioned like, hey, I kind of like you, even though I still hate you. But you can tell just through their actions and like what Ass said
He's
when
like
he
a
goes to
surrogate
save
dad
him and
for
his
him.
like face, how he reacts, and you can tell that he does like admire him at the very least.
I feel like it's not clear enough, though. You can't tell enough, like, because his hatred is so maxed out all the time. Like, I can't get over the fact that it was just poorly handled. Like, because it could have been so good. They did such a good job of building Thorfinn up for the first half, and like you're getting ready for some development, and then it's like he was shoved to the side, and it became the Ashlad show, which is awesome because the Ashlad show is cool. But now Ashlad is
so
dead,
good.
and we have to deal with an entire next season of Thorfinn, who I do not care about.
And whoever all those new characters.
Yeah,
coming
that
up
scene
are.
was so stupid. The end scene where we
he
have
dropped
no
the
clue.
dagger?
Yeah, he drops the dagger.
Yeah.
We have no clue who any of these people are. We have no clue what he's thinking. We have no clue what hook this is supposed to be for season 2. It just ends.
It's a tease.
I love that.
That-
I love that. I
that was
love
a-
those kind of endings.
No,
dumb.
that was the worst. And I really didn't like how, more so than we didn't really know what he was thinking, I feel like they got over things, and some of them developed too quickly with, like, no in between.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the prince's name?
Canute.
Canute,
Freaking
yeah.
Canute.
Canute the Hot
Friggin'
Pocket.
Canute.
Yeah, he just went from the
Well,
absolute couldn't even talk to people, couldn't do anything on his own.
To like
And then-
military strategist extraordinaire, and it's like, can
Exactly.
you give me a break, please?
Just because, like,
Except he doesn't
one
really
dude got
do any
stabbed.
military strategy. He's just He just has a commanding presence.
No,
so
but
people follow.
there
It
is
was so
sometimes
stupid.
when he's talking to them where he's like, oh, well, we need to do this. And it's like suddenly he's matured, like he has this like strategic side. And it's like, I could have bought that. I could have bought this extreme turn if they had given me anything while he was timid that showed that he was a strategist. But they didn't. So it was just like this weird magical turn that I think is awesome and that is cool that it happened. But it's also just like, this is not believable at all.
He has like
Nah.
a literal miracle transition.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember watching it the first time through, and I said something in our Discord like, I hate this guy. Like, there's no way he's going to get better. And then all of a sudden he just switches when
Yeah.
Ragnar dies. And I'm like, okay, come on now. Like, we should have had a little bit of this from the beginning. Like, maybe he's shy, but you can tell he's kind of like thinking of something. Like, he's intelligent underneath.
None of that.
But it's like
None
a
of that.
complete character like change. And I don't
Wipe.
like that.
Yeah. I didn't like, I'd say that my 3 main criticisms for the show are Thorfinn not being developed at all in the second half and Ashlad becoming the main character. 2, the things that we were just saying about Canute's turn. And 3, the representation and functionality of Christianity in the show, particularly for Canute's turn. Because it's like, I like his turn and I like the motivation of, we don't need God, I'm going to do it myself, because that's like such a stark, like bitter, like whoa kind of motivation. But just the fact that literally no one had a clue about what Christianity was, especially the priest, I was like all ready to be happy with the priest being this like dimensional character who is like has a strong faith but is also a drunk. But it turns out he's just a drunk who knows nothing about his own faith at all. And everything he says doesn't make any sense. And for me, it was like, and even the characters, the little one-off characters of the villagers that get killed that were Christians, like, they were just made to look really stupid. And it's just like, I could have handled all of that if there was one single character in the show that knew what Christianity was. But there wasn't. So it just made it feel like the author has no idea what Christianity is at all. Because the whole point was the priest and Canute said, there is no point living here because we are struggling for nothing. There is no peace. But the whole point of Christianity is you have found peace in Jesus Christ, and that's what gives you the strength to live in those awful times. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? Like, I get people not having the right grasp on Christianity, but all of them, every single one, it was like, oh my goodness. So it just bothered me because it was like, Canute is just basically like, I hate you, God. Now I am strong. And it's like, I don't know. I couldn't with that. And it's just too bad because like his turn is super dramatic and like is going to be really cool. But man, I tell you,
Yeah, I think
that's it. Rant over.
the Christianity thing is definitely weak for sure. I don't think it's super important to the whole theme of the show because the whole like thing that the story wants you to remember is Thor's line to Thorfinn that, you know, a true warrior doesn't use swords or something like that.
Is he
Um,
lying? I didn't get that impression. I think that's just what he believes.
Yeah, that's like he says that
Line. He
to.
said
Oh,
line.
line. I thought
Yeah.
you said he's lying. I was like, what?
I was confused there for a second.
No, yeah, he says that to Thorfinn, and that comes up throughout the show, specifically
Yeah.
with the priest, because he's like total like disillusioned at that point and just drunk, and then he hears some of the guys bring that up, and he's like, "Whoa, what an
Yeah.
idea!" And so it's like gives him renewed, I guess, faith. I don't know, but
It was
It's
frustrating
almost
that
like turn the other cheek.
yeah,
it was frustrating that Thorfinn never told Thorkel
Yeah.
what his dad said about being a true warrior when that's all Thorkel wanted in life was
Yeah.
to know.
Thorfinn's constantly reminded him.
Yeah, and
but
he just
just
constantly
never-
says like, "Ah, darn! If only I had asked him." And like Thorfinn's just sitting there; he doesn't even care. He could say like, literally, all my dad said was, "A true warrior doesn't need a weapon. That's your answer." And he never tells
Thorkel's
him.
gonna be like, you mean like his fists?
Oh, I freaking
that
love
was hilarious
Thorkel.
to me.
Sounds like we're saying Torkel.
I know all
Torkel.
the names are like so similar. You got Thor's, Thorfinn, Thorkel.
Well, they're all technically, well, not
Frickin'
quite from the
Canute.
same family, but
Yeah, and then there's just Canute.
but like big warriors.
Apologies
they
if you're
usually
listening
try
and your
give
name's
them-
Canute. It's a great name.
No, it isn't.
If your
Uh,
name's Canute, you can reach it as reach us at failedsquared@nanoland.ca.
Leave your complaints.
Please
We
leave
should
your
talk about the best parts of the show because there are many.
Okay, was
Hey, did
that
we
like
get over all
the
the
worst
bad
parts we were
parts?
just going in? Because you're roasting it pretty hard.
Yeah, those were the
Yeah.
worst parts. Now I'm done roasting. I'm ready to talk about the good stuff.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't even mention
also-
the Toad Lord.
Oh, well, like, he's annoying, but he gets his, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's such a. It's such a funny way to sort of illustrate like a groggy.
Yeah, it's all because
Lord.
of like who he is,
Yeah.
like obsessed with greed and he's a coward,
Yeah.
all that.
It's funny because, like, you don't really find that, like, the realism is broken too much, but then you see Toadman and you see Thorkel, who's,
Thorkel.
like, 80 million feet high, and, like, you're like, right,
Gross.
this is anime.
Got it. Well,
He was the best character, though, hands down.
Toad
Thorkel?
guy?
okay,
Yes.
Yeah, of course you
Absolutely.
think so.
yeah.
What's
Thorkel
that
is
supposed
big
to mean,
weeb
Shawna?
energy.
It's because Thorkel has, like, mad warrior crack energy. Of course you like
Yeah.
him.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's fair
Literally
enough.
crack energy the warrior. Another
love
bad
him so
point
much.
is in classic Wit Studio fashion, there's some questionable 3D at some points.
Oh, I didn't
Mhm.
notice.
Very brief though.
I
Usually like
noticed a few.
riding horses or big
It's,
groups of people.
Same studio that did Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
there's a lot of
that makes
similarities
sense
there.
because I really like the movement of the fight scenes, and
And
it
the
was like
blood.
the way that the characters in Attack on Titan get whipped around in their gear. I felt the
Mhm.
same movement in the fight scenes where like Thorfinn would be whipping around, and the way the camera, like the way they have the shots move.
Even the
Can-
intro with Thor's when he's on the ship and he's fighting, like that was
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
cool with how the camera was moving around and following him.
Yeah, fight scenes
Yeah.
were awesome.
The fight scenes were amazing, but they were always like anticlimactic. I felt like they never
And-
led to anything.
Yeah,
It was just
It's-
the fight, and it was really cool. But then they'd be super short, and they'd just be over, and then nothing would have happened from them.
yeah, there weren't too many really after the main fight with Thor's getting killed, which was like the biggest thing that happens. All the fights after, you're right, nothing really too bad happens. What I did like is that Thorfinn did get injured. He didn't get injured for very long. Like his arm was like hanging off and he was fine like a couple weeks later. But I liked that was somewhat realistic. Like he said like, if Thorkel hits me, I could die. I liked
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He
And then
chops
he
off
almost
Thorkel's
did.
fingers and he's like waving to him.
A lot of like injuries that sort of stay with people. Like
Yeah.
even Ashkelad with his legs shut up, they made note of it. They're like, "How's your leg doing?" He's like, not that great, but I can still hold a sword."
Which makes sense, right? Because he's like 50. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that he wouldn't bounce back quite as well, especially in the conditions they live in.
Mm.
Oh, I have one more unfortunate thing that I wouldn't really put it as like a huge mark against the show, but I would have liked if they used a little bit of creative freedom and went against the whole thing that women don't matter in that time and had one important female character
I
Just-
think
somewhere. Like, I understand the times, but it just would have been cool to have someone And, like, I saw that the author was trying, because, like, he would show a female villager here, a female slave here, like, Thorfinn's sister, Ashlad's mother, but, like, none of the women actually take part in the plot at all. So, I would have liked to see one woman, but I also understand that it was just how it is.
I expected Anne to be more important.
Me
I thought, like, what they were
too.
setting that up to her be, like, this big, like, force that comes after him. But no, she just warns Thorkel that where they are.
I also thought that slave girl that they were building up to be something was going to be, like, maybe a ship with Thorfinn and the slave girl or something. And I was like, cool. And
I really liked Thorfinn's sister was a cool character.
Yeah, how could you guys
Ylva
forget
was
about
she just
awesome.
disappeared. Yeah, Ylva, that's her
Was
name.
pretty great, yeah.
She was awesome. And I think
She's too good.
I think in the future there's going to probably be some more strong female characters, because
they showed us. Too,
and what I know about
in flashback.
that time period is that the Vikings valued female warriors, and so it would make sense to have at least one at some point.
One, please.
That's all we need.
Originally, when I saw the opening and there's Canute with his, like, almost Valkyrie-like helmet, I thought that was a woman,
right?
too.
You know, that is
like,
such
cool.
like such a good part of the show is that they, like, you think it might be a woman all along, and then when he's shot and they rip open the shirt and you see that it is a woman, you're like, wait, what? And then it's not a woman, it's a double. Was such a good troll by the author, because he was just like, you thought it was a woman the whole time, that it was going to be this cliche thing that it's a woman, and then it's not. And it was such a good troll. I loved that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a when Askeladd goes back to his uncle after they, like, completely raid that one fort. There's, like, this woman who looks like a man just standing there, like, cheering with a bunch of girls for Askeladd.
Oh yeah, I
It's
saw
like a
that.
little-
I saw
was
that.
great.
Yeah, I didn't notice that the first time, but the second time I was like, oh, I completely missed that. So there's your strong female.
There was also the woman that helped Thorfinn when he was hiding in that village, and that was a cool addition. That really showed you how far gone he was, and, like, seeing him through her lens and, like, how sad she was for him was really heartbreaking. And that's why, like, the first part of this season I thought did such a good job showing his character, not even necessarily telling us about him, but showing it. And then to just not get that at all in part 2 was just sad, because it's like, I know you can do this. You've been doing it for 12 episodes. So I was sad, because I like Thorfinn and I want to continue liking him, but it becomes the Ashlad show. And then you're just like, he is the main character now.
As he should be.
As he should be.
I told you, he's one of my
there
favorite
needs to be a
villains.
dark-
Yeah,
Darko
if we're talking about the best parts of
We
the
want
show,
some
you
Darko
have
show.
to mention Askeladd, because I think he's, like, one of the best villains, antagonists of any show that I've seen.
Yeah, he's great.
So
Basically a
charismatic,
duo-antagonist.
smart. I love how he's
He's
like,
the only good character.
yeah, he's able to, like, scheme and get people to do what he wants, like, by pushing them here and there, and it's just, like, everything you want out of a villain. Somebody that you can kind of like, but also hate.
I liked how they introduced him kind of like he's just like, oh, this money-hungry pirate, not very interesting. And that kind of gets turned on its head when his one warrior, I don't know if it was Bjorn, it was someone, threw the spear and hit the guy that was hidden in the wall. That was like an enemy.
That was a great scene. I forgot about that.
That was really awesome, because it, like, shows you, like, oh, this guy knows what's up, and so does his crew. And, like, usually when you have, like, a crew that's supposed to be the villain crew, they're kind of like whatever. So that kind of set up, like, oh, there's more to these guys, and sort of set the ball rolling for them being a major entity in the show that you could respect.
Yeah, and then there's the whole, like, the Frankish fort scene where he charges with the boats across the land and then jumps in the water.
Do you think they could actually lift them?
I think they
Those
could.
boats would be thousands of pounds.
I think they've
But
done that in
also,
real life,
how many
actually.
guys could you get on one of those?
Oh, you fit,
I
like,
feel like
at least
you could
20.
do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's doable, and it was
Doable,
fantastic.
for sure.
It
And
was
he's just,
amazing.
like,
It was
standing on...
done.
He's the only one standing on top of it, just laughing.
Yeah.
It was
Such a
funny
great-
that, like, he obviously valued Thorfinn, but he also didn't care if Thorfinn just died doing anything he sent him to do.
Yeah.
I think
I
he
don't
could sense
understand.
the
But I like
potential
how
in
listen to
him.
him.
Born, like, made a point of it. He's like, you believe in this kid.
Yeah.
Why'd he listen? Why'd why'd Thorfinn like listen to him? Why'd he do what he said?
For the duel.
He wants to duel him, and eventually he realizes, like, okay, I've done enough. And then from the point where he's like, I've done enough, he starts to demand duels for certain things, which was good. Because it's like, okay, clearly that shows that you're maturing and you're not stupid. So I'm glad that that happened pretty early, because by that time we had seen him do enough. So it wouldn't have been believable for him to continue to just blindly listen to Ashlad. So I'm glad that they wrote that in really well.
But there were times where it's like he would get told to do stuff and he'd be like, I don't want to. And then he ended up doing it and then not getting rewarded.
I think it's just because it's like...
It's going to be the same scene over and over again, so they probably skip over it.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like he's in charge, but also it's just kind of showing that Thorfinn has a bad attitude, and he's like, ugh.
You
get the impression that there's been a lot of duels, like, over the span of time, and it's just kind of like a routine thing for them at that point.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he stays with... Like, I understand kind of like, yeah, he stays with him because he wants to duel him, but it's like, can't you do that later? Like, do you have to be with him all the time to get the chance to duel him?
Yeah.
Do you see him?
He
He's
doesn't
like bloodthirsty, like with revenge. Look at his eyes. Like,
yeah.
That's all he wants to do is to kill Askeladd. That's his only purpose.
He definitely just has tunnel vision for sure.
I guess.
And because he like that's all he's known, because it happened at such a young age when he was like what 6 we said.
Yeah.
And so it's like he doesn't really know anything else.
Going back to the one slave girl, I think she's gonna escape. And I think that one person climbing the mountain in that one scene at the end, like in the last, like...
That's Canute.
Sort of preview? You think that's Canute?
Yeah, because it was with Thorkel.
Yeah, it looked like Canute to me.
It's like it was like a gray-haired Thorkel, which is gonna be awesome to see.
I thought that was a completely different person. Okay, then never mind. There goes
I thought
that
it was Canute, but maybe you're right.
To watch him.
It's weird that you only see him from behind. Maybe they're showing like his face changes or something.
I assume these are all characters we're gonna meet in the next.
Could be.
I'm just so sad that, like, Ashlad is dead because he was the lightning rod for the whole show, so now I'm a little confused about how it's gonna work.
It's gonna
have to rest on Thorfinn.
Now it's gonna be the Canute show.
Oh,
it's gonna suck.
Frickin' Canute.
But it's as Kutagawa, though.
Or it's gonna be one of these new characters that we don't know yet.
That's a slave boat at the end, right?
I have no idea.
Looks just based on how they're all dressed.
I assumed it was some people traveling to Vinland or trying to.
Immigrants, maybe.
Do you mean like the last scene or in the credits? Oh, I don't remember.
Like that guy who
with
comes
the redhead
off the boat.
dude.
They look like they're dressed like slaves. I assumed it was maybe like a slave.
Could be. They could just be poor.
They could just be poor.
Maybe going to Vinland will become Thorfinn's motivation. I don't know.
I would like it to be the Leif and Thorfinn show.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna like build a crew up and then start going on their way.
But what's gonna connect Thorfinn to the Canute show?
Maybe that's long term, like in the future. Maybe then, because I think that it's gonna be Canute and all that.
I feel a lot of this was just to get Thorfinn's head in fighty mode, build him up as a warrior for later.
But he has no motivation to fight anymore.
Other than to protect the ship when they go to Vinland.
But he dropped the dagger, doesn't that? I thought that represented like he was done.
That's him letting go of his revenge.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be like an existential thing where he's going to have to figure out the whole season, like who he is now and what he's going to have to do.
I thought that was supposed to mean like he was done fighting.
Yeah, well, he might be.
I'm just like, they spent so long building up the history and everything, so it's like, clearly we're going to have to find out what happens with the Danes and with the English and all that. Like, that's going to be a thing. It's just so weird because now we have no connection to it because Ashlad's gone. So
we know that they basically have to turn around and fight again because Harold, right? The other brother.
Yeah, exactly. They were building him up to be like the big boss. Were you surprised the first time you watched it? Oh, sorry, Tim, it cut you off.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it should be interesting to see him because they've kind of shown him, but we haven't actually like met him in the show, at least so far. I think he'll be a pretty interesting character.
I liked that they like shaded his face and they shaded the king's face and they shaded Canute's face for a while. It added intrigue.
Ugly guy.
Ugly guy. Were you guys surprised when Ashlad just chops the king's head off?
I love that.
Oh my goodness, the ending was so
the first
brilliant.
time I saw that, I was just like, Yes.
I literally out loud was like, yes.
Yes.
It's so perfect because you know he hates these people, and
Yeah.
like him talking smack about his mom and like how Wales only produces slaves, and you see that look of just pure hatred on his face, and it's like such good
Yeah.
payoff for that moment.
I loved it especially because it's like for the last like 3 episodes, it had been such a focus on like strategy and like warfare of the mind, and then he's just like, screw this, I'm cutting his head off.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it
loved it.
was like brilliant because he gets what he wants in the end. He protects
Exactly.
Canute and his homeland.
The only option he found.
And it just happened to be like he's finally getting his payoff where he just gets to be the king, you know.
Yeah.
So,
But he didn't want to be the king, did he? He was just
No.
pretending.
No,
Yeah.
he was just pretending. But you know, there's a whole thing with the bloodline, how he's related
Yeah.
to.
So it's like he was the
Artorias and all
king for
that.
6 minutes.
Yeah, he had his final moment of glory before going out, which makes the whole like ending where Thorfinn doesn't get to do it the whole time like so crushing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking that Thorfinn didn't get to kill him.
I thought that was gonna be like the end of the show.
Yeah.
I was upset.
Oh, you thought like the
I was-
whole show is going to be just him trying to get revenge?
Honestly, like that kind of killed it for me. After that, I was like, okay, this show is now pointless, and I don't know what I just spent my past week doing.
I think it was really gutsy what the writer did. Whether it was a mistake or not remains to be seen.
I know you guys.
I respect the move though, because he
Yeah.
could have easily let it go on and dragged on Ashlad throughout everything that was going to happen, but he didn't. So I respect that.
Fair enough.
We'll see.
Vinland's been going since 2005, so I think he's going strong.
Yeah.
Well, I
How
found
many?
out
Do
they
you
are
guys know how many chapters
beginning the
season
final
1
arc
covered?
of the story.
Oh, it is.
Hmm?
Yeah, so it's going to be like a little bit longer before it's finished.
Also, what the freaking heck? That they called that at the end of the prologue. I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't like that they named the episode that. I wish they just said end of prologue at the end.
Well, it's
But,
like it's like them
they never
like
told us
dropping
it was the
mic.
prologue.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
them
It's such a
dropping the mic,
mic drop.
like here you go. That was just a prologue.
That would have been the best.
The
way to
show
end
hasn't
it.
even started.
Yeah.
Which I think is true, because what we were saying earlier about the revenge thing, I think that was all just to kind of build up Thorfinn and to set him in this world of like political scheming and like maneuvering with the royalty and all that. I think that's like going to be the true show.
I want an entire show about pre-Thorfinn and just about Tors.
Yeah.
Like, I would watch that.
A spin-off.
He was the best character, I think.
Who?
Was he your best boy? Because he's my best boy.
Thorkel?
Okay, no.
Or Thor's?
No, Tors.
Torkel is my best boy, but Tors is the best character, I think.
That's because he's a complete character. He's completed his character arc already when we meet him.
Yeah. He was the best. I loved the fight, like the flashback fight between him and Torkel.
Oh yeah.
Because you see this dude just like take down entire armies on his own, and then he tries to fight this one dude, and he just easily like snaps his axe in half and is like, I'm gonna head out, and then knocks him out and is
Yeah.
like gone. And it's like, whoa.
I like
He's
how
like-
Torkel's weakness is he has a glass jaw.
That's what it was. It wasn't clear. I didn't understand.
Yeah, it was. What?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
thought
hits
he
him
was...
right in the jaw and he just goes down.
I thought it was like his face is his weakness. Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I thought it was just he
was
was
his
like
last
you could just
jaw.
blind him. That was what they were saying.
Well, yeah, his eyesight's bad, but also that like the reason Ashgalad saw him go down was that if he gets hit in the jaw, he goes out like a box
Oh,
fight.
that's funny.
Got it.
All I
The
really
boxer has a
learned from
glass
this
jaw.
show is how scary archers are.
Yeah,
That's
archers
it.
were like
They're
when
too
they
OP
talk
in
about the
this
guy with
show.
the crossbow, and they're like, "What the heck is this? Is this some sort of bow?"
Yeah.
Like, it's pre crossbow time. Archers were like kings of the
Roost.
battlefield. Yeah,
Yeah, you see
It's
that
like,
in
oh
that
yeah, here's this.
like
that
Hmm?
fight with the fort
Yeah, the
when they're
fort.
trying to take it.
crossbowmen from super far away.
What
Broke a shield.
was the best fight?
The first one, for sure.
Like, on the boat?
Yeah, where Tors died. The only fight with Tors, I think. Or I really liked Torfin and Torkel's first fight on the bridge was really
Yeah,
good.
I think that's what I remember certain shots from, and I
Yeah.
want to see again the most, so I'm gonna go with that one.
But
That's what a lot of the
Torz's
gifts you find on.
Torch's fight was the only one that ended with anything significant. So I
Yeah.
think that's my favorite fight.
It was also the longest. It was like what, a whole episode long, like everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
All the other fights weren't really that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was also probably my favorite because I just like the whole like this guy's able to take out everyone without even using any weapons, and then like the whole thing with Askeladd, he wins and then he gets betrayed, and it's like so many like just like a roller coaster going on.
And
know
then
what
the OP archers with their pointy sticks.
You know what I loved though? When Ashlad's like, will you be our leader? And he totally means it, and then he walks it
Yeah.
back because he knows that Thors is gonna say no.
Yeah, I love it.
love that.
Yeah, you focus on his face and he looks down and you could tell like, oh, this guy like actually means it. Like he knows Thors is like a great leader.
Wait, what?
At the end of their fight, Ashlad is like I'll follow you, like you can be our leader. Do you want to like lead us? And it looks like Thors is like thinking about it, but then he's clearly gonna say no. So then Ashlad is like, why aren't you guys laughing? That was a joke. Like I'm kidding. And then everyone was like, oh, ha ha ha.
you know,
And like it wasn't a joke.
I just thought of something. I feel like if Thors wasn't naive, because I think that's his one flaw is that he's naive. Askeladd totally would have given him everything and he would have followed him, just like he did Canute. I think in
Yeah.
Canute, he totally saw the same things, just that he wasn't naive. And that's
Mhm.
why he ultimately chose him.
Yep.
Man, Askeladd's so
Yep.
good.
Thorkill said that, right? When he saw his eyes, he's like, those eyes? I've seen them before.
I didn't like that because it was like, oh yeah, you're just gonna have like this horrible shell of a man that can't talk to anyone, and then oh yeah, one person that he kind of likes got stabbed, and then he's just like totally enlightened.
Well, he died.
No, that was dumb. I didn't like that. And they're
I
like, oh yeah, he has
knew-
the same look as Tors, and it's like, no, he doesn't. He,
I knew you'd hate him, Weeb.
Yeah.
I really
we all
do.
knew. I called exactly who we was gonna like and who he was gonna hate.
Yeah.
He's the worst. Canute is maybe my least favorite. I don't know. Yeah,
I kind of like Canute.
I think he's my least favorite. I really don't like him at
Yeah.
all.
I think
I like
So no, go
another thing
ahead.
okay, sorry. I was just gonna say this really quick. Another thing I like is how like a lot of the crazy like physics breaking stuff is like exactly how like soldiers telling a story would describe a fight, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like a lot of the action sequences are very played up, almost as if someone else is retelling a tale.
Like when he threw the spear and it went
Yeah.
through 3 people.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
it's a very like,
I like
and he
that.
threw the spear from atop the mountain, nailing 3 people into each other.
It was pretty great. I liked
Or
it a lot.
he took an entire tree trunk and slammed it down into the boat.
well, I mean, I
when
love
he was
when
like
he's like,
throwing boulders across the river.
yeah, he was throwing boulders and like the huge poles of wood like at the ships and just completely destroying them from the
was great.
bridge. Like it's amazing.
He was the best. That's the best, dude.
And the
So-
bird leaped from the ground.
So Weeb's best boy is Thorkel, obviously.
Yes.
Tim, who's your best boy?
Askeladd, of course.
And as your best boy is who again?
Thors.
Thors.
Self.
And my best boy, oh gosh, I don't
Canute.
no, if you
Freaking Canute.
Shawna?
know.
Years.
Freaking Canute.
I swear, if you pick Canute, we're not friends anymore.
It's not Canute. I think it's
Good.
Ashlad. I think
Okay.
it's Ashlad.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna love Ashala.
Yeah, he's
so
great.
good.
I mean, the only thing that made me be like, I don't like you, is the fact that all of his men rape everybody. But you know, that's a little local color for us, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a good guy, but he's a good leader.
It's a good
I think
bad
that-
guy.
I think that they specifically don't show him doing certain things so that we can continue to think of him as complex. Because, like, if he outright, I think the worst thing we see him do is probably order
Murder
that
the
entire
entire-
group of village killed, like
That
sitting
was
there.
messed up.
And it was like
But
during
also,
I'm
remember-
Christmas
torturing
too,
that
wasn't
one
it?
guy.
He said that he hated like everyone he worked with except for that
Yeah.
one dude.
Yeah.
He hates
So
the
I think when
Danes.
they were
Shawna
doing all that
sometimes.
stuff and he wasn't doing it, I don't think it was so that we can consider him complex. I think it was so that it's just like further evidence of, oh, he really does hate these
Yeah.
guys.
He
Yeah.
hates how much they're savages.
Yeah.
And I
like
think
even
he
his
knows...
attire he wears like the old Roman Empire attire at the
Yeah.
banquet.
Mhm.
I
didn't
think
even
that while
realize
he-
that he was wearing that and that was Roman until they like tied it into his like backstory. And I was like, oh, that's amazing that I completely missed that. It's so
think that
obvious
while-
once they explain
while
it.
they're making him like it's clear that he hates them, I don't think that he really thinks of himself as any better.
Mhm.
Like personally,
says that?
I don't think that it's like I'm better than them. It's just that they're awful, and like yeah, I do awful things too. But like
Yeah.
I don't get the sense that he actually believes himself better. I think that he just believes the Welsh, like Wales people, are better in
Well,
general.
he even has that speech, I think, with Thorfinn, where he talks about Ragnarok and like the
Yeah.
apocalypse. He's like, I'm not gonna be here when
Yeah.
it all goes to hell. Like, I deserve to die for what I've done.
Which is good. I think that adds like another layer of complexity because it makes you respect him. Because it's like, yeah, you are awful, and if you have any intelligence, you should be able to come to that conclusion about yourself.
Mhm.
And he does. So I think that's good. Is there any single ship in this show? Oh, all those
Oh.
boys asking Ylva to marry them before they leave.
I know.
That was the best.
Oh,
was
that
so
poor
good,
that
'cause,
poor
like-
girl though, who like goes out to meet them and say goodbye, and they're like, whatever, completely
that was
ignore
so
her.
sad.
I think
Name a
it's
ship
okay. You go
Ylva
first.
and Atli.
No,
No.
Ragnar and Canute.
No,
That's a good
that's
one.
his father, you disgusting
It's
monster.
the closest thing to it in the whole show.
No, it's Helga and Thor's.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
No,
That actually,
it's
yeah, you're right.
Bjorn
See
and
how they-
Askeladd.
How they treat each other? No.
Yeah, they got
I
the
like
best
how-
romance.
I like that Thor's was like an idiot until Helga was like, "You name your daughter."
So, give me a boy next time.
Yeah. How about you
Yeah,
die?
he was a douche.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
Yeah. Well, he was
Until he
raised
has
like that, right?
Ylva.
Then he learns what a true warrior is. and
Family.
He becomes a soft boy.
I don't know about all that, but
Soft
Yeah, soft boy.
emotionally.
he
Not
did
soft
take
physically.
down 2 warships on his own.
Soft
Please, that's just another
emotionally.
day for him.
Who's everyone's best girl?
Ylva.
Ylva, and I like the slave girl because I was like interested in the whole thing of the whole dynamic of she was nobility and now she isn't, and like how is she going to rebuild herself? I really
I think
wanted
she's
to see
coming
more.
back. I think we're seeing more of her. I think
Yeah.
she's gonna like either flee or kill that guy and get out of there.
You're talking about
Oh,
Halfdan?
you know what?
Like they set it up that I think that she's gonna help Thorfinn go to
Vinland.
Vinland.
Wait,
think so.
I thought of a really cool parallel. You know how
Uh,
when Thorfinn is younger and he tries to kill Ashlad in his sleep, but he can't do it,
yeah.
Mhm.
and then way later we find out that Ashlad killed his dad in his sleep and he could do it. It was just like, yes.
Ah,
I didn't
I
even
see
think
it.
about that.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool because it's like, it shows how they're different even though they're very similar.
Well, that
And-
he makes that comment that Thorfinn's too prideful.
Yeah.
And obviously Askeladd isn't. He's willing to do whatever it takes. He doesn't care about pride.
You see that with the torture scene too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so everyone's best girl is pretty much Ylva.
She's so good. She better be in the show more.
Yeah, I want to see. That's one of the things I want to see for next season. Was what happened to the whole village since Thorfinn's been gone? Because you had that dude Halfdan with the chain who looks like way too interesting to just have for one episode and then be gone the rest of the show.
Or it's like a total
So-
bait.
I
It's
hope
like,
not.
look at the super cool character who then immediately gets destroyed.
Yeah, but what do everybody think of like the sound in general or the voice acting?
Ugh.
I thought the voice acting was great.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought in particular Thorfinn's like jaded voice when he was his oldest version of himself, like how his voice changed was really incredible.
Yeah,
Thorfinn
interesting.
has
It was
3 voice actors listed in Mal.
Yeah, it was a
Oh, that
female who
makes
did
sense.
a little kid.
Yeah, the kid version of him. Oh, Ashkelad. Sorry, Ashkelad has 3.
Torkel, I thought
Oh,
he
yeah.
had a really good voice.
Yeah.
Everything about his whole character
one.
was fantastic.
Guess what, everybody?
Mhm.
Canute, as told me, Canute was voiced by the guy who played Akutagawa in Bungo Stray
Mhm.
Dogs.
You can hear it when he gets angry.
Yeah, I love Akutagawa.
He has a really Canute has a good voice too.
So does that
Even
make
if you
he
hate
does.
Canute,
does that mean Ragnar is going to
Morty?
be? Yeah, they're gonna.
Yes.
Ragnar
so.
is his Mort.
Yeah,
Or no, Dazai.
Does
Would
I?
Ragnar be his Dazai?
I guess so.
That actually makes sense.
that's why he's so mad. And that's why he changes.
Yeah.
Ashlad also has 3 voice actors.
Yeah, sorry, it was Ashlad, not Thorfinn. I got confused.
Why? Why does he have 3?
I don't know.
No, it's just one.
There's
So
young him.
confused.
There's regular him.
It-
I hope no
it
one
might
died.
be like, I don't know, because I thought it was just the dude who does Madara in Naruto the whole time.
Wait, who?
Askeladd.
They do sound a little similar, don't they? I'm thinking about it now. I didn't pick up on that.
I loved him in as Madara too, so
Wait, it is the same voice actor? Sorry,
Yeah,
I blinked
it
out.
is.
I'm ordering food right now.
it is because I looked it up when I first watched it because I could hear it and recognize it, and it totally is.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know,
the good
Madara
ears
slash
because I
Toby.
didn't catch it.
It's also Toby. What? I guess they
You
have
know
the same
what?
voice, didn't they?
you know what didn't happen?
Huh?
Floki didn't get his for ordering Thor's murder.
Yeah.
Yet.
Thorfinn
Yeah,
still
yeah,
has
so
to like come to terms that
Thorfinn-
like he's the actual dude responsible.
I
Yeah,
think he's gonna find out at some point.
yeah, he has to. Because, like, Floki has no other purpose. He's not interesting.
And I also want to
Yeah.
just like go into more of why he did what he did. Like obviously he must have loved Thor's at some point when they were, warriors together, and he
Mhm.
must have felt personally betrayed
Yep.
when Thor's
I
left
think
him.
he was.
He's just
jealous
makes his
of him
head
the entire
square.
time.
He's a
I think he was
squarehead.
just jealous of him always.
That could be it too.
It could be any of those things or all of them. We'll have to wait and see.
I think it's something we don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho. Hey, also
Um,
shout out to Leif Erikson for finding a continent.
He was he was a great character. I keep saying, I'm like, there are no good characters. I'm like, that was the best
Oh,
character.
there's a lot of good
I realize I'm
characters,
doing
Weeb.
this, but he was a
Spending
good
11
character.
years looking for a slave boy because he feels so bad.
Aw.
And then he ups and leaves him right when they're about to leave.
That was heartbreaking. That was
Mm.
heartbreaking. Like, I understood why Thorfinn did it, but it's like, just tell him you're leaving. He's gonna be so sad.
Leave him a note.
Or like when they first meet, and he's like, "That's the first thing you ask me about, not how your mom and sister."
Yeah.
Did you guys like the art?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
And it's even better in the manga.
The only thing I didn't like is sometimes I felt like Thorfinn's face changed a lot.
Yeah, there's a
Like,
bit
where-
of you can tell where they.
It just looked like messed up. Like, and he's supposed to look messed up, but it was just like,
Yeah.
that's such an ugly face that I'm looking
It's the
at.
face
right now.
of vengeance.
I just felt like the art or the character design for Thorfinn was a little flawed for me sometimes.
It's got fleas.
But you guys will be surprised to hear that I really quite enjoyed the opening theme.
Which one? The first one or
The
the
first
second
one, come on.
Rise
Obviously.
at the Prophet? Or, I don't remember
Whatever the
actual name. It's by
Screamo one
Survivor.
is.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was
Love that
so
song.
perfect for the show, and like how the Screamo
Yeah.
like builds kind of the rage and the desperation through the song to just eclipse at the end when he's standing screaming at the top of a
Mhm,
hill covered in
mhm.
bodies. It's like, what?
I don't
It was
think I ever
so
watched
perfect.
it.
Come
is
on,
really good, Weeb.
Weeb. You have to watch it.
You should go back and watch it. You're
I
gonna like it.
barely finished his show on time. I literally finished this and then we started recording.
Well, you have to
I really-
immediately do it after we're done because it's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like the second ending too. Like,
Yeah,
that
the
song is
second.
so
I thought the
good.
second opening was pretty good too. Not as good as like the first one, but it's still
Yeah.
pretty solid.
The ending
sec-
though.
The second ending was like with the snow, right? Like it's like someone running through the snow or something.
No, not
Is that
quite.
the first
it's like
ending?
Valkyries coming down.
Oh,
Valkyries coming down, and then like scenes of battles. But it's like the song is called like "Drown," and it's like about desperation and stuff.
I liked one of them. I don't remember which one.
First one, I think, is the one with the snow and stuff, and it has a bunch of like landscape sort of shots.
Yeah, the
I have no
first
memory
one
of
was
this
very
place.
a lot more softer and
Mhm.
like really slower. The second one was much more, I feel like, in tune with the tone of the show.
Also, like, shout out to that, what I like calling Ashgalad's theme, because it almost always plays when he's on the screen, but, like, the really deep, like, brass bass sounds.
I didn't even notice
That
that.
one
Yeah.
song is so good.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the whole score of the show.
Yeah.
The composer did such a good job. Same guy who did Tokyo Ghoul. Fun fact.
But I heard that anime sucks.
I
It
would
was
know.
not great. However, I think the animation is good. The writing's not really there from what I recall. But I think I only watched one season.
Apparently the manga is way better.
Hmm.
So,
But yeah, the music totally hit on all those emotional beats you're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
I think this one was pretty easy for me to rate out of 10 in general, although I
Well, I
kind
hope
of
it's on
second-guessing it now.
the top end of the scale.
It's a 2. It's a
Are
2
you
from
ready?
me.
You ready
Yeah,
for me to rate it? Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
let's-
give it an 8.
Nice.
It's very good.
8 is
I had
good.
some issues with it, but like for the most part, I was like super entertained the entire time. So 8 for me.
I'm a 9 boy because, I like this show a lot. I
Yeah.
like a lot of things it does. I like a lot of like the twists it takes. I like the characters, obviously. If that wasn't shown enough. I like how crazy it is. The art style, the music. It's all just really good. It hits all the beats I enjoy in a show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Werb?
Okay, yeah,
Me?
we.
No. What? Okay. Really good show overall. Great animation, great characters, great story, great fights. When you factor in Canute, I'm gonna have to give it a 1.
Come on.
You're not
Freaking
allowed.
Canute!
Canute's not even
Canute
bad.
sucks.
It's just his
He's the
development's
worst.
weak.
He's the worst, and I hate him, and I want him to die.
Who'd you hate more, Canute or your weeb mate?
Gosh. That's like trying to choose between your kids, man. Like, that's impossible. They're
If you hated both your kids, you'd want them dead, like a certain king in the show.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I gotta say something.
I
about
don't
that.
know. I can't pick between those. Actually, I can. Hold on, I'll type it in here.
Okay, Tim, say
Well,
what you
while
wanted to
we
say.
was thinking, I just wanted to say that the king was actually a lot better of a character than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was
Yeah.
going to be like typical, like dude, just like is all obsessed about power. But I like that they went into that he was a good guy and like a good king at first, but like the power kind of warped him. But he's still like really smart and intelligent. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
I would say honestly, like legitimately, I'd give it like an 8. Probably.
Cool.
Maybe
I was
a
gonna
7.
say you're only allowed to deduct a maximum number of 2 points for Canute, so that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Then I'll give it a 6.
So it's actually a 10
No.
for me.
It's a 6 officially.
No, you already gave it an 8. You can't change it.
Canute wasn't factored in.
Yes, he was.
Okay, can I say first half of the show is a 9, second half is like a 5?
No.
Sure, if you want to.
I'm gonna say that.
I just don't think you've seen enough truly 5 anime to understand what you're giving a 5 right now.
Canute.
Well,
I'm
that's
giving
classic
Canute
weeb.
and the rest of a pretty good show 5.
Yeah, okay. Tim?
I gonna have to give it a 9, even though I really want to give it a 10. I feel like it's really good show. I enjoy everything. I love a good epic, especially a historical one. But I think there is some problems with the direction and the choices they make, and I get that it's just a prologue and that maybe they're saving things for the future, but Askeladd, man. Askeladd.
Yeah, come on, man.
So
Are there any similar shows? Like, what's a similar
Yeah.
show to this? What's
For
a
sure.
similar
There's Haikyuu.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Ugh,
Attack on
you
Titan.
Attack on
Yeah.
Titan.
Attack on Titan, yeah.
This series gets compared to Berserk a lot, but I would not recommend the Berserk anime.
fair.
Noted. I will not
Um,
watch it as.
I know none of you guys have watched, but Game of Thrones for live action.
Oh, yeah,
Very
Very
true.
similar
Vikings.
themes and political stuff going on.
Viking shows? Ooh, Drifters has sort of this...
Nozaki-kun?
Nosaki-kun,
No.
I was trying to think of the furthest
Absolutely
from this show
not.
possible.
QQ,
Love is War.
similar.
Anything that is like historical action based and is a serious show would compare. I haven't-
Dororo?
Dororo? Maybe. I haven't seen Dororo
Speaking of which,
yet.
we are watching that
Oh, are we doing
next episode.
Are we doing that
Are we doing
next?
that next?
Yeah, it's our
Wait,
next show
what?
we're
What are we
reviewing,
doing next?
Dororo.
I thought we're doing Recreators next.
Not according to schedule, I think.
Where's
What's
the schedule?
Recreators?
I haven't seen it.
Recreators is
Depends.
another... It's a... Okay, well, we'll talk about Recreators if we're doing it next.
Wait, how many episodes is it?
Recreators or Dororo?
I know how many Dororo is.
I like you
Recreators
say,
is...
just adding rows to it.
Yeah, I don't know how many rows there are. How many episodes is Recreators? I can't remember if it's a 13 or 20-something.
I feel like we should do Recreators because I don't want to do 2 historicals in a row. Or do we need to do it because
22
it's
is
on
Recreators.
Amazon Prime and people want to cancel their Prime?
Recreators is also on Amazon Prime, and that's why I wanted to do them all in a chunk.
Oh, got it. Let's do Recreators next. It's different.
Okay,
Wait,
well then,
Recreators is next?
ignore the transition I tried to do. It is going to be Recreators as our next show.
Another Amazon show. which is sort of a reverse isekai, except it's about authors meeting their creations, and there's also war and stuff.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim, do you have a weeb word?
I do. I'm gonna probably.
Wait,
exciting.
we didn't plug our stuff.
Oh, right.
Oh well. Okay, we'll do that first.
Plug it.
Plug it. You can email us at
The Air We Weeb.
Air We Weeb,
At
I think,
Gmail.
right? Is the
Yeah.
duh in there? I can't. I
The
just blanked.
airweweeb@gmail.com, correct.
Failed square at Nanaland.
Yeah.
.ca.
Whatever. .ca.
Send us questions
No.
there.
And on
or
Twitter.
comment. Yeah.
And leave us comments on the SoundCloud. I get lonely.
Yeah, we check all
Tweet
those
us
things.
too. Yeah.
Go
We
Tim,
don't check
go.
it
Go,
enough,
Tim,
but
go.
if you do comment and talk to us more, we will use it more.
Yeah.
Tell us what anime you're watching while you're quarantined.
Yeah.
For
Tim, now
my
you can go.
weeb word
Weeb word.
today, I'm probably going to completely butcher this pronunciation, but it's Hukushu, something like that,
Who?
which just basically means vengeance or revenge.
Oh.
Good
Yeah,
choice.
basically the
Fair.
whole theme of the show.
My weeb word is Ashlad.
What does that mean?
Well, if you don't know what it means, then everyone, please go and watch the show. But, it means, like, doesn't it mean covered in ash? Like, boy covered in ash? I think it did.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Not in Japanese.
My weeb word is twerkle, and it means Torkel twerking, shaking his
Twerkle.
posterior.
You mean Thorkel?
No.
Twerkle, like twerking.
Yes.
So is it Torkel twerking? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
That's what I said.
Torkel twerking.
Is that
Torkel.
correct?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Enjoy your
Exit
anime.
music.
Stay safe.
Exit music. Exit music.
Dun, dun,
Lemon
dun,
bomb.
dun, dun, dun.
Bagel
Just close
beans.
out the Discord today.
Dun, dun, dun. If your name's Canute, you can reach it as reach us at failedsquared@nanoland.ca.